Time now to dive into the world of K-Sports with our sportscaster, Jason Lee, joining us in the studio. Welcome back, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Good afternoon.
So today's top sports headline is obviously that Korea made it to the quarterfinals of the World Baseball
That's
Classic.
right. They're going to Miami.
Yes, they are. But we've also got many other stories to talk about, so give us a hint.
We absolutely do. And yes, I will be talking a lot about Korea at the World Baseball Classic. I can tell you that it wasn't easy at all, but indeed they are going to the quarterfinals. I'll have more details on that, of course. Also, Song Sung-moon re-injured his oblique muscle and has been sitting out of Padre games recently. We also finally have a Korean winner on the LPGA Tour. I'll let you know who that is. And 황희찬 is back after missing a month, and he scored a goal in his first game back.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
But let's start with baseball. So for the first time in 17 years, Team Korea made it to the quarterfinals of the WBC. So tell us about it. It wasn't easy.
No, it was not easy at all, although if it was too easy, it wouldn't have been as fun as it was. I'll tell you, it was a very, very stressful game last night as I was watching at home. But let me explain just how tight everything was in case you are not sure. Korea won their first game 11-4 over the Czech Republic, right? No problems there. Then they lost to Japan 8-6 in a back-and-forth game, which Korea actually led 3-0 at one point. They were also tied 5-5 in the seventh, so this was a very close game. The problem came in their third game when they lost 5-4 in extra innings to Chinese Taipei. Now, had Korea just won that game, they would have just needed a win against Australia to advance to the next round. But because Korea lost that game, it meant that Korea needed to beat Australia by 5 runs, and while also giving up fewer than 3 runs in that game. And wouldn't you know it, Korea would jump out to a 5-0 lead early on, just what they needed to do. But then, they bounced around a bit. The score was 5-1, and then 6-1, 6-2, and then 7-2, which is how it would eventually end. Certainly, this was a back-and-forth game. I mean, 7-2, it seems like an easy win, right? But they actually had to win by 5, and they couldn't give up that third run, which they were able to accomplish. So very stressful to watch.
Stressful indeed. And I could actually feel that when I was watching the game. The commentator was Oh Seung-hwan, the recently retired player. You could really feel that tension. And I have to say, this was almost like a scripted game, like a K-drama script.
Yes.
Definitely a very exciting game.
Yes, very stressful, but in the end, a very fun and exciting and happy result for Korea. So out of those 4 games so far that Team Korea had played, who kind of impressed you the most during the games?
I think without a doubt, Moon Bo-kyung, of LG, he has clearly been leading the way. He's actually leading all players in the WBC with 11 RBI, which is 4 more than anyone else in the tournament so far. He also has 2 home runs and a .538 batting average, so he has been an absolute beast, just a total monster so far in the tournament. On the pitching side, hey, give Jo Byung-hyun a lot of credit. Pitching, it's all about preventing runs at the key moments. And nothing bigger than last night against Australia. Korea was leading 6-2 when he entered the game in the 8th inning. So he needed to get 5 outs without giving up a single run. If he does give up just 1 run, Korea doesn't advance to the next round, and he was able to pull it off. So very, very tense moment once again, but give a lot of credit to Jo Byung-hyun as he was equal to the task.
Definitely looking forward to those names in future games as well. And now, you did mention earlier about Team Korea that Korea's pitching and bullpen would have to be tested because they lost some players to injuries. So would you say they're settled for now, or do they need some more work to be done?
That's a very good point. And certainly, I wish I could say that they are settled now, but they were able to hang on to their win or go home game against Australia. So as mentioned, Jo Byung-hyun coming through in that game. But the bullpen twice allowed runs once they got the lead that they needed. And Korea's bullpen was clearly exposed against both Japan as well as in the extra inning loss to Chinese Taipei. So they clearly could have used guys like Won Tae-in and Riley O'Brien in those close games. How will they do in the next round? I mean, the bullpen is clearly the team's weakness right now. Defensively, hey, they've been solid. No errors in 4 games. Some really nice plays defensively. Their hitting has been great as expected. And, of course, great to see Moon Bo-kyung breaking out. But in the end, Korea is going to go as far as their pitching takes them. So some of their young arms in particular are going to have to be extra sharp in the next round. One of the guys that has been really calming to watch, actually, has been their oldest pitcher, No Kyung-eun. He's 41 years of age, and I'll tell you, when I watch him play, he's just so calm out there. He's confident. It almost looks like he doesn't care. He's pitched 3 1/3 innings, has not given up a run at all. But I think his veteran presence is really coming through for Korea. Hopefully, that'll rub off on the younger guys as well.
Hopefully, and hopefully that's going to happen in the next game too. So tell us about it. What's next for Team Korea?
That's right. So Korea's next game will be 7:30 a.m. Saturday morning Korean time. That's going to be against the winner of Group D, which should be either the Dominican Republic or Venezuela. Both are very strong teams. They both won this morning, so they're both now at 3-0, and then they face each other 9 a.m. Thursday morning Korean time. The winner of that game will be taking on Korea on Saturday morning, as mentioned. These are both two very good teams. It really doesn't matter who they face. It's going to be a tough game regardless.
I guess we're not sleeping in on Saturday then.
No, not at all.
It gives us a reason to get up early on Saturday morning. But Jason, sticking with baseball, it looks like Song Sung-moon is injured again. I think we talked about his injury just recently. So what happened?
That's right. He hurt his oblique muscle, which is kind of the side here where the lat is. And I reported that a few weeks ago. He's pulled that muscle once again. He originally hurt it while swinging the bat in the offseason, and that same issue has come up again. So he's been sitting out the last few games in spring training. Oblique injuries are really bad for hitters in particular, and now that this is the second time in the last month he's dealing with this, it could be quite problematic. The other issue, of course, is that Song Sung-moon is trying to make an impression with his new team before the season starts, but he hasn't been able to do that in good health as of yet. So hopefully he'll feel better soon. He'll feel better much sooner. And once he does, he'll be able to get on a hot streak really quick if he wants to start the Major League season on the Major League roster.
We wish he could recover fast. And now we're going to shift to golf. So you mentioned earlier that a player, Korean, won at the LPGA Tour this week. Who is it?
That's right. The name, let's see if you can even remember this name, because we haven't heard this name for quite some time. Lee Mi-young captured her 3rd LPGA title, but you know what? This is her first title since 2017, breaking a 9-streak dud. So she almost blew this as well. I mean, she entered the final round with a 3-stroke lead, but then she had 2 bogeys and 2 double bogeys on just the front 9 of her final round. She did manage to put things back together, birdieing the final hole that gave her a 1-stroke victory over the local favorite, Wei Zhang of China. So, tense moment, I'm certain, for her. She probably kind of felt it slipping away. Oh no, first time in 9 years. I might have a win. And I think she might have panicked a bit, but she got recomposed on the back 9 and managed a 1-stroke.
Yeah, congrats again to Lee Mi-young. And it's her 3rd Korea LPGA title. So,
And the first for a Korean on the tour this year.
Wow.
So great to finally see after 4
so
events.
great to see that, definitely. And now speaking of golf, I understand that Leaf Golf is coming again to Korea, but this time it's not in the capital. It's somewhere near the ocean. Where is it?
Yeah, it's going to have some nice ocean views, probably a lot of wind as well. well. Live Golf's first tournament in Korea was last year in Incheon, but they have now reached an agreement with Asiad Country Club in Busan to bring their tour there for the next 3 years. And this year's tournament will be May 28th to the 31st, so just 2.5 months away. And we can expect to see the Korean team there once again, headlined by former tour veteran An Byung-hun. We can also expect to see Bryson DeChambeau back to defend his title from last year as well. So I'm sure we're going to have some big crowds down in Busan to check out Live Golf's return to Korea.
Right. So it's again near the water because Incheon is also near the water, is in the capital region, we would say, the metropolitan region. But last but not least, let's wrap up with soccer. Jason, you mentioned that 황희찬 is back and he scored a goal.
That's right. 황희찬 and his Wolverhampton Wolves played Liverpool in the FA Cup this week. And 황희찬 entered the game in the 75th minute, and that after a 1-month absence from a calf injury. But he scored a nice goal on a breakaway in injury time. Unfortunately, that came at the end of a 3-1 loss as his team continues to struggle this year. They are out of the FA Cup. The Wolverhampton Wolves, I think they're still last in the Premier League standing, so a good chance that they get relegated by the end of the season. But we'll have to wait and see. 황희찬, he's showing some solid results when he's healthy this year. The question will just be, whether we can find maybe another team at the end of the season. If his team is relegated, we'll have to see what happens with him.
So a difficult season for the team. However, for Korean fans and fans of 황희찬, certainly good to see him back and finding the net.
Yeah, and because Ho Heung-min, of course, now is in LA with the LAFC, 황희찬 is the only Korean that's now playing in the Premier League.
Right.
So if his team gets relegated, it'd be nice to see him get transferred to another Premier League team to keep him at least in England's top league. But we'll have to wait and see.
Let's see what's going to happen. And thank you very much, Jason, for all those updates. Looking forward to next week, as we're probably going to talk about the WBC results of the quarterfinals and talk about the semifinals.
Hopefully we'll be talking about Korea winning it all. We'll have to see.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
No problem.
And thank you, Bella. As always, we're going to have you back here later this week.
Yes, I'll see you back very soon.